Ricardo El Matador Mayorga.
Trash talk is an integral part of boxing. People are not interested in watching guys who are humble and normal in dealing with the press. A wide audience has always demanded, as they say, bread in circuses. Bad guys, from whom the opponents got battered not only in the ring, but also at press conferences before the fight, have always enjoyed increased interest from the audience. Today I would like to talk about one of the most outrageous and scandalous personalities of professional boxing over the past 30 years, Nicaraguan puncher Ricardo El Matador Mayorga. Ricardo Mayorga was born on October 3rd in Granada, Nicaragua, in a family of low social level. In 1980, the family moved to Managua, where little Ricardo went to a special school, where the main focus was on military training. The boy had good physical data and a very conflicting character, regularly participating in fights. After another one, the teacher took Ricardo to the gym, where various sports were taught. Mayorga decided to focus on boxing. The young Nicaraguan quickly achieved results. His hallmarks were a powerful blow, high speed, and endurance. During his school years, Ricardo made a living by participating in underground street fights, combining them with training in the gym. The first notable success came in 1991, when he won a gold medal at the national championship in Nicaragua. And a year later, Mayorga became the winner of the Central American Golden Gloves tournament. In 1993, he decided to turn professional. The first 6 years of the El Matador's career passed unnoticed. For all of his power and speed, the boxer was far from ideal, having enough technical flaws, especially in defense. From July 1993 to November 1999, Ricardo had a very modest record, 13 wins, all by knockout, and 3 defeats. Moreover, all of them were to guys who weren't nothing more than journeymen. The opportunity to show himself appeared on November 27, 1999, when the future world champion, Diaz-Bellas Hurtado, entered the ring against him. Hurtado, at the time of the fight against Mayorga, already had 2 unsuccessful attempts to win the world title. But this was not the case when the defeat was more honorable than the victory. Hurtado lost to not nobodies, but to Pernell Whitaker, TKO in the 11th round, and Kostya Tszyu, technical knockout in the 5th round. Moreover, both guys twice listened to the referee's unpleasant countdown in the ring. And in the fight against Whitaker, Hurtado confidently was winning on points from all 3 judges. In the fight against such a strong opponent, Ricardo started very aggressively and managed to significantly stun him several times. It is difficult to say for sure how this confrontation would have ended, but a clash of heads in the 2nd round put an end to the fight, leaving the question about the winner. It was a technical draw. The Nicaraguan puncher attracted the attention of the famous promoter Don King, who quickly realized that such an extraordinary boxer can make a lot of money. Ricardo used various types of trash talk. He provoked opponents in every way possible, lit a cigarette at press conferences, and sometimes right after victorious fights. In the ring, he often challenged his opponent to attack with offensive gestures and lowered hands. After the fight against Hurtado, the Nicaraguan had 9 victorious fights, 7 of which by knockout. And on July 28, 2001, Mayorga's career had a moment that every boxer dreams of, a fight for the world title. But, unfortunately, for the El Matador, the first attempt was unsuccessful. The fight against undefeated WBA welterweight champion Andrew Lewis ended without a result being announced after a headbutt in the 2nd round.
The other hand seemed to expend an awful lot of energy throwing all those big punches, George.
Yeah, he's got those long heads. They took a good headbutt that time. I'm telling you, that hurt.
And there's blood coming from the left eye, I believe, of 6 heads.
On March 30th, 2002, a rematch took place, and this time Ricardo did not miss his chance. In the 5th round, he unleashed a flurry of blows on the champion.
Just got down with a straight right hand. It wasn't a side.
solid shot, but it got the champion's attention.
And it looked like his legs buckled just a little bit.
That was more of a solid shot. A left hook and another left hook. Oh my goodness! Down goes Lewis on his back.
He's in trouble too.
5, 6, 7.
forcing him to listen to the countdown of the referee. Lewis did not convince the referee of his willingness to continue, and the fight was stopped. "This is the happiest moment of my career. Nothing compares to this day," Mayorga recalled many years later. In the rank of world champion, interest in the person of Ricardo increased fast, as did his fees. After the fight against Lewis in January 2003, the Nicaraguan entered the ring against the WBC champion Vernon the Viper Forrest. The technical American was considered to be the clear favorite, who won all 35 fights in the professional ring, and twice confidently defeated Shane Mosley. It is difficult to say what made him not use his usual tactics. Most likely his opponent's behavior did affect his mental state, but he started the fight extremely aggressively, trying to win in exchange of blows. But consequences followed immediately. Already in the first round, Forrest was knocked down, by the way, for the first time in his career.
6-1 man-to-man this afternoon.
That's logical. More logical than 10.
That was a good left hook by Mayorga.
Yep, it caught Forrest. And down goes Forrest.
In the third round, the Nicaraguan puncher finished what he had started, a heavy knockdown and a go-ahead to end the fight from the referee.
Forrest put in a good left hook a moment ago, and that hurt.
Vernon wobbling on his feet as he threw the right, and he goes down in the face of a crunching right cross.
And that time he was seriously hurt.
Yeah, look at the wobbling in Vernon Forrest. Marty Jenkins stops the fight.
Pride pushed Forrest to a rematch. But 6 months later, luck was again not on his side. This fight turned out to be equal and stubborn, but the majority decision victory with a score of 115-114, 116-112, and 114-114 again went to El Loco. El Matador decided to move to the light middleweight, having won on points over Eric Mitchell. In October 2004, the Nicaraguan went into the fight against the star Felix Tito Trinidad, who returned to the ring after a 2-year break. Being true to himself, Mayorga insulted his opponent in every possible way before the fight, threatening to destroy him and send him back to retirement. This behavior of his opponent really angered the Puerto Rican, who promised to punish him in the ring. As expected, the fight between the two punchers turned out to be incredibly spectacular. In the first round, Trinidad's famous left hook cleanly hit Mayorga's jaw. Almost any other boxer, if he hadn't been knocked out, would at least stagger around the ropes. But Ricardo not only did not flinch, but also bravely lowered his hands, allowing his opponent to deliver 2 more blows in a row. Mayorga's wild and chaotic style has caused trouble for many opponents. The fight against Tito was no exception. In the third round, El Matador delivered a powerful and unexpected right hook.
Huge right hand. Good shot. Trinidad's glove touched the canvas, and there's the first knockdown of the fight.
Which hit in the ear area, and Felix was knocked down. This gave Ricardo confidence, and he began to act even more furiously. But the Puerto Rican countered his opponent's attacks with his own, continuing to understand him. From the 5th round, Felix had already fully started to read Ricardo, and the fight turned into a one-sided beating.
Mayorga backing up, taking straight punches. Trinidad very selective, incredibly accurate. The accuracy with power punches is something amazing to behold. He's ripping Mayorga. Huge left hook. And now Mayorga begins to hold. A sure sign that
Mayorga held on under the hail of blows from his opponent, trying to counterattack, but endurance cannot be exploited forever. In the 8th round, after 3 knockdowns, the fight was stopped.
Saw the body shot, so he's just gonna take it. Right there, boom, good body shot. The shot I've been calling for all night. Knew once he landed that shot, that would be it. Here, Mayorga just hurt from an accumulation of punches, and the right hand, left hook kind of does the deal, but he's still trying to stay up, and he went down from a very short right over. He was tired. He had no steam on his punches. He was just making it out of the way of the punches, then boom, there's a right hand and left uppercut again. The left uppercut was ferocious tonight, and he just went ahead and went down to avoid.
It's good to have Don King behind your back. Despite the crushing defeat, Mayorga's next fight was for the vacant WBC light middleweight title against Italian Michele Piccirillo, winning by unanimous decision. At the end of 2005, the boxing world was shocked by the news that the legendary Oscar De La Hoya decided to return to the ring after a crushing defeat to Bernard Hopkins and challenged Ricardo Mayorga. The fight was scheduled for May 6, 2006. The atmosphere before the fight was tense to the limit. The Nicaraguan, who had never been known for his modesty, this time crossed all boundaries. He insulted Oscar, his young wife, claiming that she conceived a child on the side, and even Oscar's newborn baby, Gabriel. He called the opponent a coward and even promised to sexually abuse him in the ring. Consequences for such unforgivable behavior was severe. Already in the first round, De La Hoya's left hook sent the Nicaraguan to the floor of the ring, after which he calmly destroyed him.
Particularly when he punches when he leaps on his toes.
It's always been his most effective punch. It lands again. 2 more shots to the body, and Mayorga just grabs him and pulls him to the ropes.
It's an amateur and a professional.
Where's the 20-month layoff? Where's all the ring rust? De La Hoya seldom looked better than this. Sensational first-round performance. He clocks Mayorga with a right hand.
The Nicaraguan's torment ended in the 6th round. After another knockdown, Oscar began to beat him at the ropes. Referee Jay Nady had to pull and push De La Hoya away from the opponent before stopping the fight.
Pretty much giving up now.
I think he knows he can't deal with the hand speed. Oscar De La Hoya has more hand speed than Ricardo Mayorga, and he's proving it face to face. I was one of the many who did not think a knockout for De La Hoya was possible here. And
It's over.
right now.
It's all over. This fight is over. A great performance by Oscar.
Oscar, you are a great champion. You are a great fighter. And I apologize for everything I said about you, Ricardo said right in the ring after the fight. I forgive you, De La Hoya replied. For a year and a half, Ricardo healed physical and mental wounds. He returned to the ring in November 2007 to take on former 2-time world champion Fernando Vargas. At one of the press conferences when Mayorga insulted his opponent and his relatives, Vargas could not stand it, and there was a short but fierce brawl. The next press conference was behind protective glass. The fight of 2 declining stars turned out to be exciting and competitive. Despite the 2 easy knockdowns he experienced, it was Vargas who acted more safe and was more accurate in most rounds. But 2 falls in such a close fight turned out to be too many for a positive result, and El Matador won by majority decision. 114, 112, 115, 111, and 113, 113. After the fight, Ricardo shook hands with his opponent, called him a brave warrior, and apologized for all the insults before the fight. In September 2008, Mayorga fought the star Shane Mosley. He looked good during the fight, fighting with the opponent almost on an equal footing. An unexpected end came in the 12th round. First, the American knocked down his opponent, and a second before the end of the fight, he sent him into a deep knockout.
Cheering for something dramatic to happen here.
Just as he did against Oscar De La Hoya 8 years ago. Scintillating fighting down the stretch of the fight by Shane Mosley. A brilliant cross-round, and he puts Mayorga on the comeback. And he knocks him down again.
He hits a lot harder than I thought, said the Nicaraguan after the fight. In March 2011, El Matador received the last chance to win the world title. Ricardo's usual pre-fight trash talk had no effect on WBA super welterweight champion Miguel Cotto. The fight was with a noticeable advantage of the Puerto Rican, who won by knockout in the 12th round. After this fight, Mayorga did not enter the ring for 3 years, returning in September 2014 with a knockout victory over the hopeless journeyman Alan Medina. The last notable fight in the Nicaraguan's career was a rematch against Shane Mosley in August 2015, which he lost by knockout in the 6th round.
Down for 5 or 6 rounds.
Couple of stiff jabs. There's a right hand by Mayorga.
Of a 12-rounder. You got two 40-somethings in here who both appear weary and maybe...
And down goes Mayorga.
He's claiming a low blow.
He's claiming a low blow.
Referee is counting.
Says no.
It's
He's
all
not
over.
going to get up. And that's it.
He continued to enter the ring until April 2019, when he was knocked out in the 2nd round by Lester Martinez. The Nicaraguan El Matador had an extremely bright and eventful career. He managed to become a world champion in 2 weight categories and earned enough money for a comfortable retirement. During our cooperation, Don King stole more than $1 million from me, but it was thanks to him that I became a rich and wealthy person, and my children do not need anything. And that is why in my mansion in Managua there is a huge portrait of him. This is a token of gratitude for everything he has done for me, Mayorga once said. Ricardo can be treated differently, but one thing cannot be denied. He always made a show in the ring, because, by virtue of his style and character, he simply did not know how to box boringly.